Hey everybody, I wanted to share a project with you today because I've had a great success with one of the things I've been working on in Excel. If you're not familiar, a lot of the improvements that I've been coming up with have been Excel-based continuous improvements, little macros, little automation that right now I'm working a lot in the HR space. So you've got a lot of administrative processes where they're using databases online, but they're doing things in Excel to create custom reports. And this is just one example of this opportunity. So in this case, what we're working in is leave of absence arrears. So when somebody goes out on leave, they're not getting paid, but they still have benefits, and usually we take deductions right out of the paycheck. So they're in arrears to their benefits, and we have to calculate how much of an arrears payment that actually is. In this case, what we were doing, this is just a little bit of the process, but some arrears administrator would have to get a list of all of their paychecks in the past, and then they would have to identify where they were on leave. And in this case, we can see there's a huge gap between the 19th of March 2021 and the 11th of June 2021. So during this time, they were not paying for their benefits. So what the leave administrator would then have to do is they would have to add in all of the rows for every missing paycheck, but not just for every missing paycheck, but also for each benefit type. So we see here that there are, it looks like, 7 benefit types. So this person, the leave or the arrears administrator, would have to enter in 7 benefit types for every 1 week that was missed. And we see here that there were several weeks missed. So we're talking about 30 rows, or for 5 weeks, 30 rows. I won't belabor the point here. She would then go and have to drag down this information here, and I'm showing you kind of just so you can see it. There would be no check number because a check was not issued, but all of this information would also have to be brought down. In addition, she would have to figure out what the plan type was for each of these benefits and associate it with these. So if the person was still on PPOB, they would have to put in a couple PPOBs, as well as the deduction class. This means, is it before tax or after tax? And then associated with that, we've got the deduction code, the benefit plan type, the current deduction amount, as well as if there was anything getting taken back. So there's a lot of work here. It's a lot of minutia. If it's not clear yet what the person's actually doing, that's exactly the point, is there's a lot of manual input. There's a lot of manual inspection going into this admin process, which is essentially just to say, hey, you owe us this amount of money and we're going to start taking it out of the next paycheck. So I said, man, it sure would be easier if Excel did all of this work for you. And when you think about it, it's something that Excel can do, right? Is this deduction class is not going to change. The before tax, this is medical, so the before tax is always going to be the before tax when associated with this code. The plan type is not going to change as well. That's associated with this code. The dates can easily be calculated based on the schedule of paychecks. Is it every week? Is it every other week? Is it twice a month? So we can certainly calculate those things. And then finally, the deduction amounts will either be the same, or they can go back into the database and confirm those amounts. It gets even trickier when you only take out benefits on the first 2 pay cycles of the year. So, the first 2 pay cycles of the month. So on April 30th, that would have been the 3rd pay cycle, and as you'll see, you'll have to back out that amount. So I said, wouldn't it be easier if Excel did all this heavy lifting for us? So I made an application that did just that. It's not fully automated because there is a level of personal touch to this. But in this case, what it's done is it's accurately identified the last paycheck before the leave of absence and the first paycheck after returning from leave of absence. It calculates the number of pay periods, and then it allows the administrator to select the deduction codes that they would like to have. And this is essentially calculating how many rows that need to be added to this document. In this case, I'm just going to use all of the same benefits codes. So bear with me here as I go and find them. Looks like LTD and one more. So here we'll go ahead and hit OK. The next thing that has to happen is all the benefits amounts have to be added in. And again, this might change if you go on leave. Let's say you go on leave because you've given birth to a child. When you come back, you might have increased your increased your payment in your medical because it's gone from a single person to a family rate. So we give the administrator the option to change these amounts, but we also make recommendations to say this is what we historically have for this person. This is the most recent amount that we have for this person. So it can allow them to confirm that and makes it a little bit easier. You can also see as I've done that it started to populate some of these fields down here. We go ahead and hit OK, and then what has happened is I've taken all of this information here, I've sorted it, and then for different pay periods for different pay periods like this one here that was on the 30th of April, where we said we really don't have to take out arrears for that pay period, we're removing that, but we're still leaving the line item to show what we've done to kind of have some traceability. And then finally, we've generated a report. So this is something that historically they have done, and this is the format that they give to payroll to start taking the funds out of the upcoming paychecks. And in this case, we have it subtotaled. It's sorted and subtotaled by the deduction code itself, and then it's highlighted what these values are here. If it is that money is actually owed to the person, as it sometimes is, these colors will change. And then at the very end, we have a grand total of how much it is owed, as well as the subtotals for what each benefit code is owed and why. So again, this is just a cool down and dirty project. It did not take that much time to complete. And when you think that it was taking, close to 20 minutes for the administrator to do this per person for every leave in a 10,000 person organization, you can see that the savings are compounding on itself. It's very little effort to train somebody up on this. It really wasn't that much effort to put in place as well. And the impact is really astronomical when you think about this over the next several years. So if you're interested in learning more about Excel-based process improvement, the Lean and Six Sigma stuff that I'm working on here, or anything else, please go ahead and send me an email. And if you like this video and you liked the application of using Excel macros to automate and improve processes, go ahead and like and subscribe to the video. Thank you.